Unfiltered by Jade.
Jade.
Welcome to the Unfiltered by Jade, where we educate, empower, and entertain. Feel free to like, share, subscribe, download, donate, and make everybody know about this.
Beats by RB Records.
Shopping assistance, your style, your budget. Our services include online and local shopping for individuals and businesses, personal shopping, purchasing of company and office supplies, importing and exporting small packages across Jamaica and worldwide, and helping you find unique gifts and items for all events and occasions. Contact us at 876-919-5195 or shoppingassistance2015@gmail.com. Shopping Assistance, your style, your budget.
Welcome back to the Unfiltered by Jade. Today we have with us here a special guest. His name is Flavio Strianese. I'm trying.
That's great.
So, Flavio is the founder and CEO of Striano and the co-founder and CEO of Rooms 101. So today we're going to be speaking about empathy in tech, making technology accessible for all. First of all, I want to say hi, Flavio. How are you?
Hi, Jay. Thanks so much for having me in your podcast.
Thank you so much for being here and shedding light on this topic.
My pleasure.
First of all, I want you to define accessibility in technology and empathy helps achieve this.
So, for me, empathy basically in tech is allowing or enabling to everyone to use it. So, regardless of the ability you have, or if you have some kind of physical disability or like a visual impairment, or even if you're not just too much of a tech savvy person and you struggle sometimes with complicated systems, the team or the developers that are making that platform should know all these different type of people are going to be using it. So they need to make sure that it's built in a way that everybody can use it. And it's key. For me, it's key to step in somebody else's shoes. So not only think how I'm going to use it, but how everybody else that is going to go to that website, platform, mobile app, or whatever is going to feel with it.
And it's more user-friendly for people, so they don't leave the website exhausted and tired.
Exactly.
How can empathy-driven technology improve the lives of people from diverse cultural backgrounds?
So when we design them, when you use empathy in tech, what you need to consider is like different backgrounds, different languages, and even the technology they have access to. Like sometimes people have lower, like a broad example would be Wi-Fi or internet speed. So that's crucial when you're doing something online, because if it's too heavy, if it's too complicated, it has too many resources, maybe somebody that doesn't have access to Wi-Fi or their connection is too slow, they're not going to be able to access it. Either not going to be able to use some of the features or any of it. For instance, rural areas are a key example for this. You might have to do like a simpler version for that kind of audience.
The capability where it comes on to network, the Wi-Fi issues, how it is that they read it, because we can't put one website in many different languages, right?
Yeah.
How they access it, whatever it is, can we really use one website that really takes the strain off for everybody?
So it depends on what industry you are or what kind of website you're building. But nowadays you have a lot of tools and developers are very, very savvy on building things that are, let's say, light, easy to use, and really accessible. And even in simpler things like the size of the font that you're using, that it's readable, or the contrast between colors. Because if you have somebody that is color blinded, for instance,
Right.
they're not going to be able, if you put a certain type of color on top of another, they're not going to be able to read it.
Right.
And unless you have that impairment, when you're designing it, you're not going to know of it. So that's why there's also tools that the designers and developers can use to actually test the websites. Yeah, and they tell you. So it's basically technology helping build technology.
That's good. That's actually good. So
Yeah,
the persons who build the website, they have to have that in the back of their heads when they're building it, so that anybody.
of course.
Right. Good.
And right now, actually, if you go to most of websites, you can see in some corner of the website or on the middle section on either side, you have like a little icon that is normally close to the chat or something like that, that it has like a little person or a person on a wheelchair or something like that. And that's a widget, or it's a tool that some companies provide. So the developer doesn't need to develop everything by themselves. You just need to plug in and install that little widget, that little icon, and click on it. Is gonna give you different options. So if you can select if you're color impaired, so it's gonna change all the coloring and contrast on the website to make sure that there's no similar colors and you're gonna be able to read everything. Or if you cannot use a mouse or a trackpad, it might enable functions with your keyboard, so you can navigate the website with your keyboard as well.
Or voice, because some of them sometimes have voice.
Exactly. Yes.
Can you think of an example where a lack of empathy in tech design led to unintended negative consequences?
Yeah, so actually, a couple years ago, you have to say a couple years ago, but technology changes like every single day. Remember when facial recognition came into market? We have to say a couple years ago now. And and actually, the early versions of this technology, it wasn't working for everybody. It was quite controversial because it was working for people with lighter skin, and those with darker skin could not use it. The reason behind it is because the developers didn't train or didn't put enough data into the technology. So they only grab a small group to train that technology. So there you can see a consequence that could be like taken pretty serious because of the lack of confidence. Because certain people, they just couldn't use the technology properly or not use it at all. So the way for them to solve it, it was just basically bring more people from different ethnicities and just put that data into the technology.
So there was bias earlier.
I wouldn't say it's bias because I don't work for the companies that did it, but I wouldn't want to say that they did it on purpose. It's just like sometimes you want to get something into the market real quick, like really, really quick, and you don't have enough time to test for everybody. Or sometimes you really don't know how the technology is going to react. And for me, that I would like to say that was the case on this particular.
I get you, but I mean, we're looking at a couple of years. Let's use the term the years ago, right?
Yeah.
Know right now there is an increase in diversity, inclusivity. Where if it is that even technologies that are used to promote different things are used to push out into the workforce, etc. Those things, the people doing it should consider diverse backgrounds when using it, because you are not creating the technology just for people of a certain culture, right?
Exactly.
Because if then you do that, if it is then that you're creating it for everybody, but you use only a handpick of persons to see if that technology works, then it's basically biased because other people can't use it. So I get what you're saying in terms of, yes, they probably, wanted to push it out fast, but they use those people. But in a world of technology, I'm not saying technology, I'm just saying, but in technology that we use, We use technology every day.
Yeah.
And if it is that you are creating something for everyone to use, a thought of diversity should be included in that thought of creating it, not just, all right, let's just hurry up and get people to use it. We can hurry up and get people to use it still who are of diverse backgrounds, not just of one. But I get the example that you're using and I get what you're saying. But I'm just saying some people may have viewed that as bias.
Yeah, of course, and you're making another good point in mind from my perspective, that it's like sometimes, and I see this a lot in technology, because even us, we try to motivate our clients to put a product as fast as they can to the market, because that way you can get as many people as you can using your product, and then listen to them, gather that feedback, and improve it. But with particular technology like this, you need to put into a scale and prioritize, because it could hurt you as well, and actually did hurt them, because you put something out there and then you're marked or tagged as biased or racist or
Yes.
whatever happened at that
Oh,
time.
yes.
And it ends up hurting the reputation of that company. So at that point, and with certain type of a technology, I would say, yes, you need to hold your horses and say, okay, what are we really trying to achieve with this? And do we need to go faster, or do we need to take a step back and consider a broader audience to properly test it and launch it?
Love that. Definitely. Most definitely. What are the future trends in technology accessibility, and how is empathy driving these innovations?
So one that is pretty obvious, it's AI. And for me, it's like a smart, like it's a fancy way to say smart software, because that's basically what it is. Because we're still human beings like us. We're still training those models. We're training that technology, and we're teaching AI how to do things. And it's an amazing tool, and it could open doors for a lot of people that previously they didn't have access to technology. And another cool thing that I've been experimenting myself, and even on my phone and tablet, is using your eyes to select or navigate a website. And that's quite cool. I experienced it last year on when I tried VR Google's, but I never saw it on a mobile device. So, and it's quite exciting to see that you're just looking to your screen, and you see how the different icons highlight. And if you blink or if you stare for a couple of seconds to that icon, it opens up the app. That's another thing that I believe it's going to enable, let's say, people that they cannot use their hands. So it's just position their screen in front of them, and by looking at it, it's opening a new world. So I think that kind of applying that kind of technology in that way, it's amazing. So even if you're building like a small app or a website, practicing empathy starts by you need to understand who's using it. Like we talked about this at the beginning, right? And it's really important to get feedback from a wide range of people. And we go back to the example of the bad lack of empathy, the bad example that we did, right? So not just people who think like you. You need to, like you mentioned, a broader grab, like a broader background, languages, culture, ethnicities. And I always go back, because for me it's super clear, but the example of a colorblind person, it's like super graphic.
Right.
Have the fortune to see every single color, but for them, let's say, I don't know exactly which colors, but let's say that we put white on top of, or black on top of a darker green. Maybe for them, they only see black, because their eyes translate the information, or they see certain colors, different colors, they see it all the same way, it's all the same color. So you need to have that in mind. Otherwise, imagine that they're going to open up a website. It's going to be like a black canvas or a white canvas. It's like, what's going on here? It's like they have a couple of words around and it's pointless. But that's, for me, it's a very, very figurative example. And another case is people that is not tech savvy. So in year 2024, we have the misconception or assumption that everybody understands technology and that everybody uses technology, and it's not the case. So there's a lot of people that still, maybe they don't have a touchscreen phone. They
Right.
still use like with the flip. You know what I mean? Sometimes I miss my Nokia 1100. One that you had that game with the war that you were like going around. Yeah, I'm giving away right my age. But and that was like you could throw that from a building and it would continue to work.
True, I agree. The durability on that phone is good.
Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah.
But so I think that that's one of the biggest challenges as well, to put yourself in the shoes of somebody that doesn't get or doesn't like technology that much. So you need to see through their eyes, and it changes everything, because we assume that some things are supposed to work in certain way because we are used to see it, but for them it's everything from zero. So we need to always, and this is something that it's not that you build it from the beginning and that's it. It's an ongoing process. You can do a first version of it, then you get feedback, you improve what you can, you change what you cannot improve, you switch it up for other things, and you keep testing until that percentage of people that have access to it, it's bigger and bigger and bigger.
And that's just like doing that. That's also how they do our phones, in terms of, for people who don't know. In terms of when we get updates, they update our phone based on the fact that they're
Mhm.
improving information, they're improving data, so that we can have better usage of our phone. These are also some things that happen behind the scenes that probably we don't know about. What we just press, update my phone, I will move along, because we don't know the intricacies behind what
Yeah.
it takes to make up the software that we're using.
And the thing is, like, I mean, for sure, nobody reads what's included on every single update that we do on the
Oh
phones.
no, we don't.
No, it's like, no. Only if you do the update and something starts working or not working or a different way that we were used to, then we
Right.
say, hey, what's going on here? Back, or let's complain.
Mm-hmm.
But if you actually take 2 minutes to read, you're going to see that there's little things that they changed. You will never imagine that it was there, or that it's not, you cannot see it. It's just like some little details on the background. And they're able to do that because we give feedback.
Mm-hmm.
Is that because we are complaining all the time, or we're sending just like friendly feedback? I would like this, I would like that, this is good, but I would prefer to work this way or the other way. And we think that, so that's basically what we do a lot with our clients, in terms of bringing that process that the big companies have, like Apple, Microsoft, Adobe, and especially those big ones, because we have computers, phones, and everything that it's with their operative system.
Mm-hmm.
And we start using it and we start complaining when it's brand new. It's like, oh, come on, this is new and this is not working, this is not working, that works funny, this looks weird. And we start giving feedback. And small companies, and especially entrepreneurs, they think that they cannot have access to that feedback because they're small.
Yes.
And we kind of, it's one of my missions to demystify that and say everybody can do that. The only thing that you need to have, it's an audience. You need to have found an issue that you're solving. You have the solution for that problem. You develop it, you make it real, and then you deliver it to them and you let them play with it and try to break it in every single way they can.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to give you feedback.
Yes,
And then you have your feedback.
Yes, and you can even use think tanks, where you have people coming together in a room, and you give them the device to use, and you let them play with it and see. You can get feedback like that, letting them know, okay, this works, this does not work, it doesn't work for me. It should work, it works for this person. You can know the pros and the cons with it just by even having a think tank and having people's ideas and perspectives come into. So what you're doing also, you are including the people who work with the company, you're putting them hands on to everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you are going to deliver to the public a better software.
Exactly. Most of the companies that we develop software, we do that. So we have like an internal process to validate the usability.
Yes.
We only have limited resources, so we only have a certain amount of staff or colleagues that we can expose to that new platform and use it and give us feedback. So what this process or this technique that they use, that is just launch it, you give them, because they're big brands and they have millions and millions of users. So imagine if everybody does that. So if you really have an audience and you really have people that are going to benefit from that platform, you just get it out there, make sure that at least the basics are covered, and then you listen to them, because they're the ones that you're trying to help.
Yep. Be open to feedback.
Yeah. And sometimes it's difficult, because sometimes people, they have these big ideas and they think they have it all figured out and that they have the best solution for the users, and they just want to keep building and building and building, and it goes, I don't know, like a year goes by and they haven't launched anything to the public. And that is like, I've been there, I've done that, either with clients or with my own platform. It hurts everybody. It hurts the budget, it hurts the team, and it hurts the solution. Because you're waiting so long, and for sure somebody else thought of the same solution or a similar solution, and they probably launched it in 3 or 6 months.
While you're there.
Exactly. While you're still, yeah. Exactly. And you're still like chasing your own tail, and these people is already interacting with users, gathering their feedback, listening to them, and making their version better and better and better, while you're still having launched your first version.
Interesting. Flavio, where is it? If it is that we want to connect with you, where can we connect with you?
So people can go to our website. It's striano.io. And also I just launched a book that it's basically a step-by-step to help people gather their thoughts and put it into paper, to actually convert it into an actual document. So I would love for your audience to have a free digital copy of the book. So they can go to striano.info. You just put your name, email, and you will get a copy on right away.
Lovely. So people, you can connect with Flavio on these platforms. They're easily accessible.
Yeah. We try to make our best with that.
So correctly. So you shouldn't have any issue.
And if there's any issue, please reach out and let us know. We'll fix it. Yeah, it is. Like, most of people think that technology is just like a cold industry, or it's just something like robots and all that kind of stuff. But no, we use it like every single day, and we just need to translate the way we interact with each other to those platforms, and keep it accessible.
Yes, keep it accessible. Thank you so much again, Flavio.
Thank you for having me. I had a great time.
Yes, I did too. And thank you so much to my listeners for continuing to listen to The Unfiltered by Jade. And we'll be back next week, Tuesday. Thank you.